Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another production of the Flatout Racing Network. Here on a Thursday night, we're going dirt track racing with our pro truck lineup. My name is Anthony McCurry. Alongside of me is Michael Norman. Michael, we're going dirt track racing. How do you feel about this? This is going to be super thrilling and exciting, and I'm so glad to have you with me.
Absolutely. This is the first time I've actually been and called an event like this. Never actually seen these stadium trucks like this before, so looking forward to seeing how they run on the dirt track. I've actually seen an oval race with them with the jumps and everything, like in real life, but I have not seen one on dirt yet. So with all these jumps and this exciting small racetrack here, it's going to be one that I know I'll never forget.
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, this is round number 4 of this championship that we are going to be witnessing here tonight. The championship off-road racing for the CORSR. We are 4 rounds into this championship already, and this is going to be a wild race. We're here at Wild Horse, in fact, Wild Horse Motorsport Park. It's a really more of a shorter track layout that we've seen so far this season. Only 1.5 miles. That means that there's going to be a limited amount of grid spots. So these drivers right now in qualifying, they have to qualify within the top 14, I believe it is, to get into the starting grid. There's 16 trucks right now qualifying, meaning 2 will fall out right now. It looks like it's going to be the 75 of Cross Birchmeyer and Brian Buick going to be those 2 drivers that would fall out of the top part of the field. So, Michael, with that being said, what do these drivers have to do with about 3 minutes remaining in qualifying to get into the main event? Because it's going to be a 15-minute race, meaning that they only have a few more minutes to go before they have a shot to get into the main event.
Yeah, they just gotta amp it up, try to get through these corners as fast as they possibly can. I'm not on a real big dirt racer here, so I'm not too sure exactly how to drive these cars, but it's definitely, you've definitely got to get through each turn with as much speed, carry as much speed as you can, go over the jumps, try not to waste your motor in doing that, and just, making sure that you're not spinning your tires or losing too much speed in these corners.
Indeed. So we saw one of them spin around. That'd be Kirchmeyer that went around. He spun around. Now, these trucks are different from the Pro 4s in the sense that these are much harder to drive. These are rear-wheel drive vehicles, a little bit underpowered compared to their Pro 4 counterparts, but still a lot more of a bear to drive around these tracks. And the fact that you have to be so easy on the throttle getting around these turns that it's really easy to do. As we've seen now, Brian Buick trying to get around this track. You see him at the back end fishtailing everywhere. He's one of those drivers that needs to qualify into this main event race if he's going to advance on to the main event. 16th out of 16, trying to get in about, say, a good second or so from that cut line of getting in. So he's got a long way to go. Make that 7/10 he's got to make up in order to get in. Kirchmeyer, a similar situation right in front of him, in fact, trying to get in as well. He is about half a second before he can get into the main event. So it's going to be really close to see if he can do it. It's got about a minute to go to see if he can try and qualify. Michael, have you ever been in a situation where he's actually gone into the fence now, so that's going to hurt his chances even more?
Yeah, he got into the fence hardcore right there. And that's just him. He's trying to get as much speed as he possibly can, so I can't blame him for trying. As the 23 of Brian, he just jumped up, not enough to get him in the top 14, but dang close. At 37.63, he's got to beat a 37.51 though. Indeed,
so he does. Now, something that I just saw is that Buick actually did improve on his time. He is about a tenth of a second now away from the cut line, running in the running in the 15th spot now, trying to make up a better time. Now, Kirchmeyer's still in that situation where he has to get in. He's about half a second now. He's improved a little bit. So about 4/10 rather, he's improved. So, as you see, he's like flipping it into the turn over the jump, trying to get in to get the best thing around, and he's actually spun it into the barricade. So a little bit of a missed cue there. Looks like Buick's not going to be able to make it. His time is going to run out on qualifying. We are done. Cue is over. So Buick and Kirchmeyer not going to advance. That means the 14 are going to start the field, are locked in. So Bit of a crazy qualifying session we had. There was 15 minutes in total. We came in with about 5 minutes left to go, but some drivers not making it into the main event tonight. That's got to be a gut-wrenching feeling, Michael.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking when you spend most of your night trying, maybe all that practicing trying to get into the field. I mean, you come in knowing that you have to be into the top 14. So for those two drivers, it's just heartbreaking to know that they're going to have to sit on the sidelines and watch this race.
Indeed. So tonight's race is going to be a 15-minute main event. So, well, how this works is that 15 minutes will be on the clock at the time race. All those not familiar with time races, it's not about how many laps are left. It's about how many laps you can do within the time allotted. So that means that they will have to go as far as they can in 15 minutes. Another thing that these drivers have to pay attention to is that there's going to be a competition yellow halfway through the race, some point halfway through the race, that they are going to have to go through. These drivers are, like I said, this is their 4th race of the season, so they have quite a bit of experience in that regard. So not like this is their first race, Michael, but this is their first race for us, but they are very familiar with how the format goes.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna be familiar. They're familiar with it. Know that unlike a lap counter, with the time limit, as soon as it reaches a certain point, it's gonna be the white flag. So you're only gonna have one lap, and whoever the leader is, and I've seen past races here. These cars get real racy in here. So this is gonna be fun to watch, Anthony.
Your top 3 coming in to this race points-wise are going to be Zachary Drapkin in first place. He is 35 points total. Back to second place will be Kenneth Ashlock. He is second. Third is Josh Edmondson. So a couple drivers we'll have to look out for as Edmondson is starting on the front row of the grid, starting second place. So he's trying to better his outing today. Drapkin, our points leader, only qualified down in 8th. So he's got a lot of way to go before he can get up to the front of the field if he wants to extend his points lead. But in second place, Ashlock, looking through down, he's even further down. He is in the 10th position starting. So a lot of work for those drivers as they want to get back up to the front of the field.
Absolutely. And you got to remember, too, 15 minutes. So all this elapsed time, however long it takes them to get onto the grid and pacing, that counts towards the laps and this time limit. So it's gonna make things interesting, knowing that you've got about 2.5 to 3 minutes less time than what was advertised. So, as you see, the pace truck dives in. We're getting ready to go green.
We are setting them up for 15 minutes around Wild Horse Motorsports Park. It's going to be a fun bit of night, although someone's already having a little bit of a blink. But we are green flag racing. And look at them over the ramps as we go over the start-finish straight. Whoa, goodness, down into turn 1. They're all spreading around, trying to find their ways, trying to get around, trying to find any bit of hole they can. To the lead goes the 48 of Cameron Pedersen. Sideways, going in. Can they get through here?
Contact. No, they're all over the place here. 3, 4 wide, running into each other. There's just no room. Everyone, it's almost like you're watching a motocross race just with super trucks.
It looks like Green, Ambrosius, and Barry. Oh, there's a truck splitting over. That's someone, I believe that was... I couldn't quite tell who that is. Someone's falling down. I believe that is Luke Knupp that just went around. Someone's on his rear. That was Drapkin. Zachary Drapkin is upside down. So leader in the points is going to go back into the pit, has to teleport. That is something that you didn't want to have happen.
Absolutely not. And another thing to point out, too, we said top 14 cars make it, but all 16 cars are racing.
16 are racing. I thought that there was only a 14 limit, so that is interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe there was something wrong there, but no harm, no foul. We're still under green, so all 16 did make the race. Zachary Drapkin, however, he was the points leader going into this race, and that wreck is going to have huge implications on his points, his championship run so far in the Pro 2 category. You never want to find the points leader upside down, and unfortunately, this is something that is kind of common in these kind of races where you're just going around the track, and you're always going to find action happening. Is right now a battle for the 4th place position. That's between Connor Berry, and now it's going to be between Oliver Golding with a little bit of a run down off the ramp. He's going to come and try to squeeze his way through, and there's contact. He's got around off the nose of Ambrosius.
Oh, he got hit too, also as well. Turned him sideways too. Oliver Golden gets it back going. Now here he goes, continuing on. But our leader, Cameron Pedersen, is just kind of opened up a bit of a lead here. So he's kind of just got to focus on not making mistakes for about another 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's got a little bit way to go. This race goes by fast. We're already about 2.5 minutes in, coming up on 3 minutes in the race already done. So a lot of battles going on the racetrack right now. We got back here battle between Ashlock, Prater, and Miller. These drivers, Ashlock specifically, in the top 3 in the standings, but these drivers all battling for track position, trying to get to the top 5. Ashlock is there. Prater looking for it, though.
Our points leader is back in the race, albeit 2 laps down and just in front of the leader, almost to go 3 laps down here if he doesn't be careful. But he's got clear track in front of him, so I think he'll be all right. But not the way he wanted to start tonight's event. As you said, we're back here looking at some action here. These trucks seem to have, for the most part, single-filed out through this racetrack here. Except you got to watch out. Oh, that's Mason Prater. Got real loose over the hills over there. Now he's about to lose the 6th position.
Side-by-side battle between Prater and Tyson Miller. Miller does get the position. He's trying to go for the position. Miller behind. Prater trying to defend the 6th place position. Going over through the start-finish straight. Looks like that Miller's got a bit of a slower cars compared to Prater. Prater trying to pull out that advantage, trying to get to Ashlock for the top 5. He's got the way he's coming off the jumps, he's swinging it in, trying to get all the momentum, but it looks like that Ashlock is just able to take the bounces a little bit better. A bit of a bad bounce for Ashlock as he goes almost on his side, but he's having a little bit of a connection issue as well. We've seen a lot of connection issues happen tonight so far, but so far it's only taken out 1 driver. Unfortunately, that was the points leader, but Ashlock trying to hold on to this top 5 position. And I gotta say, Michael, it's crazy to see how some of these trucks take the ramps differently. They're having different lines. There's another battle for 3rd place now. The top 3 between Connor Berry and Gary Green. But the way that you set your truck up for the next corner, coming off of some of these little hops, that they're trying to get the truck to swing around, trying to make it so they have all the power coming out of these turns. Across the start-finish straight again. Berry running down Green. But when you're driving these trucks, Michael, do you think that... I know that I don't think you and I have had any off-road racing experience with these trucks in particular, but when you drive these kind of trucks, it's more or less a game of chess when you're trying to figure out what you can do off these jumps.
Yeah, actually, I was just about to ask you that too. What do you think is faster over these small bumps? Trying to just not jump your truck as much, or just trying to take it with as much speed with the possibility of overdriving like we see here? Whoa! He slid it in there. Luckily, he was able to keep the position there. But what do you think is faster? Just holding the throttle down over these jumps, or trying to take it at a specific speed so your truck doesn't leave the ground for so long?
Sometimes, the way I've seen these drivers run in the many pro truck races that I've seen, that it depends on what your next move is. What is the next obstacle in front of you? If it's another ramp, then you definitely want to take it a little bit slower. But if it's another jump like that right there, you see that the green kind of slowed down. You don't want to have too much height going into the next turn. It's going to set you up and upset the truck a little bit. Now it's green, goes to the outside, trying to get the momentum. Now these rear-wheel drive trucks, like we said, the Pro 4s are all-wheel drive. These are only rear-wheel drive, so a lot harder to control as far as trying to get them straightened out if you go into a spin. But so far, we've seen these top drivers do it pretty well. This battle between Green and Berry, one of the best on the racetrack right now, is there's only about, you can put a piece of paper in between them sometimes. It's almost like a Formula Drift event when they go around some of these turns. They're right there. But Michael, we're coming down to about where the competition yellow would be, and it's going to erase the large lead that the leader Pedersen is having right now. He's got about a 2.5 second lead at this moment over Josh Edmondson. So he's just checked out as far as he is. He's in a whole world of his own right now with the way he's driving.
Absolutely. 6.5 minutes to go in this session. Should be about the time the competition comes out now, as we are roughly about halfway through. And like you said, it's going to release. As you see, the points leader go way high out there, just letting these trucks go by. He's not having a good race after what happened to him.
No, he is not. Just trying to salvage whatever he can. Looks like 2 laps down is going to be all that he's going to get. I've also seen that Brian Dueck has also gone a lap down, so something happening to the 23 as well. Let's take a look at Ashlock again. Connor Ashlock, 2nd place in the standings, running a very solid 5th place. We've been talking about it pretty much all night. trying to keep going. He's linked out of the session for a bit. There he is, just coming back into pirouette around. He is only about, looking here, he's only 6 points behind Drapkin, so he could potentially take the points lead at the end of this race if everything goes well for him.
And right there.
Indeed.
Back
so
here, Brian. Yep, that's Brian right here. He's got official lap down. I guess just slow to let the other cars go by in that 23 machine.
Josh Edmondson, third place on the standings, running second place on the racetrack. So this is a great showing for him, trying to get back up towards the front of the standings. So he's got a bunch of people behind him, though, that are just outside the top three. You have Connor Berry, he's in fourth place, and Mason Prater, who is in fifth place. So the top five running in the top 10 so far. Good runs for all of them, but right now the beneficiaries of Drapkin's mishaps are going to be Edmondson and Ashlock for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They're running in fifth. He's running in, Ashlock is running in fifth place right now, so depending on how many points per position, that could be a major gain for Cole Ashlock right now.
Absolutely so, and the big lead for Penderson continues to grow, looking for some battles on the racetrack. Here's a pretty good battle between Miller and Ashlock has kind of gotten a little bit spread out, as Miller trying to run down Ashlock, who's got a pretty big lead, and a lap truck in between him. That'd be the lap truck of Druick, Brian Druick behind him. Everyone kind of running their own race right now. They're trying to get to the competition yellow, as we're still, I believe it's already come out, as trucks seem to be slowing down now.
It very well be. I'm not sure if they run caution flags on here or they do it manually, but yep, it might be manually because they are slowing down now up here by the flagston with no official in-game caution out, but the yellow flag, again, the competition caution is out now, slowing these trucks down.
So 6 minutes to go in the race. Competition yellow flies. Everyone has to slow down to pace speed. Everyone will bunch back up and we'll get the second half of the race underway. So far, Michael, we've seen some pretty intense action, but for the most part, it's been pretty clean aside from that first incident. And that was more or less due to connection issues, I think, than any piece of driving. So far, we've gone about 10 minutes into the race. What are your thoughts as we're about ready to go back to green, I feel, at the end of this lap, if not the end of the second lap?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're under 5 minutes to go, coming to 3 minutes to go. So this is going to be a short stint here on this restart. So, and it's going to be interesting to see if our leaders can stay the leaders with everything being bunched back up now. We're going to wait and see. Yep, we are going green this time. We were just told, so we're going to be going back green flag racing with under 3 minutes to go here. So it's going to be interesting to see who can pass who on this restart. Coming to the line right now.
As they are going up to the tabletop. Looks like we are going back underway, and the green flag is back out in the air. And it looks like that Penderson got a pretty good jump off of that start. Now the sun is kind of dipping in and out as well. I just noticed that. But Penderson got a really good jump trying to get away from everyone behind him.
Oh, look at the sliding right there.
Green and Barry just got into a bit of a scrap. Barry with a nice jump up to the inside. He's going to take the position away from Green. Now Green going to try and go back on a cut back, trying to get that truck loose. The 28 still holding his line and going over the table or going over the ramp, trying to get around onto the main straight. Still in front of Green, but a good piece of driving by Connor Barry.
Absolutely. Here we got about elapsed time under 2 minutes now. As they're crossing, I think that's actually turn number 1 right there. As they're heading down towards the, let's see, what is that? That's a left-hander, sharp left-hander. Sorry, all these camera angles is making it hard to tell my left from right here.
Prater just got by a hornet's nest back there between one of the cars back there. I think that was Drapkin's teammate, the 14, looking to pile his way through there. But man, there's contact back there between Ambrosius and 3 wide race between him, Golding, and up. Oh, can they hold on to it?
Oh, they're really close to tail. Oh, they're bouncing off each other. A little bit of connection issues there. And it looks like everything's settled out for the most part now, but man, that was close.
Nup gets the better of it. Nick Nowak is going to be able to get through as well. Ambrosius is going to follow all the way down to 10th place, side by side back behind him. That's Nelson, and I think that's going to be Drepkin trying to get one of his laps back.
It might be too little too late for Drepkin, but any position counts right now as we're under a minute to go, at least in a race elapsed time. I'm not sure if they'll, what it says up there for our fans watching here.
We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the race, so we're just going to stay green until then. Henderson still with a lead, but Edmondson trying to get up to him. The gap is about 1.5 seconds now, and then Connor Berry is trying to get away from this Hornet's Nest behind him, trying to catch him for 3rd place.
While I'm watching Pedersen right now, he's got to be focused, not make any mistakes. He's ran a clean race all race. He's going to jump up the final hill, take another lap here, and we'll see what's going to happen.
2 minutes to go, coming up in about 10 seconds, so figure in about at least 2 more laps of racing, maybe 3 laps, depending on the lap time. So we'll have to see if they can get around the track clean and green. But speaking of green with a shot on Barry, he's closed in the gap, trying to find a way to go. Again, Ashlock and Prater in a battle as well, going through up the ramp. Trying to get any bit of momentum is Prater on Ashlock. Ashlock washes up the track, but also does Prater. Prater cannot make a move. Prater's going to have to find his way to the inside. Trying to the inside of Ashlock, trying to go up to the side panel, but no. Ashlock gets away from Prater, and up in front of him, you've got Barry and Green going at it as well.
Right, less than 2 minutes remaining. And that was some great racing here. You've got to try to get your truck underneath somebody and get it to stick when you nail the gas and not hit them. Sometimes here, contact is what's going to help you pass. Whether the drivers like it or not, that's what it's going to take to get in front of somebody here. And that's just racing. Force. Oh, it looked like he spun it. Camera angles.
Yeah, Ashlock did not get a happy bounce either, but he's trying to hold on to it. Ashlock around the outside of the racetrack. There's a slow truck. There's a stop truck on the top of the track. I'm not sure which truck that is. Going over the tabletop on the front straightaway, though. 50 seconds left to go in the race. This could be the last lap. If not, then the next lap will be. Ashlock trying to hold against Prater, Connor Berry, and Gary Green trying to get the battle for 3rd place underway. Still a heated dogfight between these two.
Absolutely, this is some incredible racing here all around this racetrack.
Right over the tabletop, we're going to go 1 lap to go for our leader as this battle for 3rd continues to heat up, but Penderson has taken the final lap of the race. So it's all on eyes on him. Can he get around and get to this win? He's got a massive lead. He's just got to be perfect all the way through the final lap, though.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to be perfect. He's been perfect all race long. We'll see if he can do it. He's got himself a lead. He can afford a small mistake, not a big one, but a small one. But I don't think it's going to come to that. As he's rounding the final corner, it looks like it's Cameron Pedersen that's going to win this race.
Cameron Pedersen over the final tabletop, and he's going to cross the start-finish straight to win Pro Truck 2, rather. And man, he had a commanding lead as well over Josh Edmondson. And Connor Berry is going to hold on for 3rd place in that battle between him and Gary Green, and Ashlock going to round out the top 5. What a fantastic race we had this for our first race of the evening.
Absolutely. I'm excited, and I'm on the edge of my seat here, and this was just the first race. We still got 1 more race to go.
We do indeed, as the winners take the parade lap. Cameron Pedersen and Josh Edmondson going around the track 1 more time, parading around, and it's got to feel good to come out and get a strong finish. And I believe that all these top 2 had just checked out from the 3rd and 4th place position, and they were in a world of their own. Josh Edmondson, for starters, he's going to he's going to be at least up into 2nd place in the point standings, I can feel, because of the misfortunes of Zachary Drapnik, who did actually get to 13th position. So no harm, no foul between him getting up there to try and get anything that he could towards the championship. But we are going to go down for our interviews. To interview our top 3, we're going to be looking for Connor Berry first. He finished in the 3rd place position. We'll get him up in the booth. Hey, Connor, it is Anthony and Michael in the Flatout Racing Network studio. You got us.
Yep.
Well, that was a pretty intense battle between you and Gary Green throughout the final half of the race. What was it like from your perspective going around this track? Being as how short this track is, it felt like it took a lot of laps to get that battle over with.
Yeah, I mean, the track was just super hard to like get. The blue groove was just bad towards the end. I was sitting P4 the first couple laps. Then right as that caution was done, I got up to third and I tried to stick it there, and that's where I got.
Well, you made a fantastic run up there. How did the track feel tonight? It seemed like a lot of trucks were sideways more often than they would have been in another track. But what was the overall track conditions tonight? Because it looked like those trucks were super slidey all race long.
Yeah, the track was pretty like rough, I guess you would say. Just a lot of bumps, and my truck was just going left, right, and yeah, one time I about flipped on the front stretch, and I got like scared, but I got it back together.
Would you like to ask any questions, Michael?
Yeah, as someone who hasn't really seen these pro trucks race like that before, just explain to me how hard is it to keep your concentration for just a full 15 minutes going around this racetrack with all the bumps and the jumps that you try to get while at the same time trying to pass somebody.
It's definitely hard because I mean, you think that you are about to make the move, and you like launch off to jump towards the left, and you just lose the gap. So it's just about being smart and smooth, and just planning in front and being patient.
Well, with fantastic run tonight, you finished in the top 3. Before we let you go, we're gonna give you a chance to do some shout outs after this race is over.
Yeah, I want to thank CBR, K&N, Super Clean, Sparko, and Rocket Racing Setups, and Core for this great league.
Well, that is your finisher of 3rd place, Connor Berry. We'll look forward to seeing him in another race soon, and have a great rest of your night.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll get our 2nd place finisher up here. That is Josh Edmondson. Get him up in the booth. Josh, it is Anthony and Michael in the Flatout Racing Network studios. You got us.
Yeah.
Well, what a fantastic run that you had all race long, kind of in your own little zip code. Not really, been able to catch up to Penderson, but still a fantastic showing for the 58 team. How was it from your end?
It was a good race overall. It was good to get the pole position. That's always good. It's really hard to do over Cam. But unfortunately couldn't hang on to the front spot. I was leaving him room on the outside there, and he was just able to get the run down the straightaway out of turn 1. So nothing I could do about that. He got clear and then checked out. So I'm happy with P2 though. It was good. It's definitely better than the last couple rounds of winning the series for us. So step in the right direction for sure.
Now, a step in the right direction for you in the point standings, because if I'm not mistaken, you came in, I believe, what was it, 2nd or 3rd in the point standings. So with the mishap that Drapkin had earlier in the race, this is going to leapfrog you probably up to the 2nd place, if not the 1st place position. So points-wise, how are you feeling so far after the race is over?
Good. Yeah, it's where I expect to be, where I want to be for sure. So, Cam and I had a mishap a couple rounds ago, and then had another bad race at Crandon. So I guess it's just a good thing that I'm still in the points. So this was a good one. Looking forward to the next one though. Hopefully I can get a win.
About how many more laps do you think it would have taken for you to be able to catch the leader there? Because it looked like you were at least at the very end there starting to reel him in just that little bit.
Yeah, my setup works better when the track gets worn in. Unfortunately, I jumped onto the K rail. I'm not sure what lap, maybe 7 laps in or so, and I think I bent something up a little bit, so I lost a little bit there. It would have been tough. I think Cam was probably managing his lead a little bit too there. It's tough. I felt like I was kind of reeling him in there, and then I made another mistake. So just couldn't make it happen.
Well, a fantastic 2nd place finish tonight. And before we let you go, we'd like to give you a chance to do any shout outs.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to the Jim Beaver Esports team, Fistful of Bourbon. General Tire, Dirtfish, Cronus, GSP, XTV axles, so 7 designs, Rigid, Polaris Razor, Gibson Performance, and Crisoni's Motorsport Drop.
That is Josh Edmondson, second place here tonight in the Pro 2s. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. Now we'll get our winner into the booth here tonight. That would be Cameron Penderson, who checked out and never really looked back in that 48 machine. We'll get him into the booth for some, actually, I don't think you see him. There he is. Cameron, it is Anthony and Michael in the Flatout Racing Network studios. You got us.
I'm clear.
Now, you had a stellar race tonight, pretty much flawless all the way through, and checked out to a pretty big lead. How did the truck feel all race night?
It really started to kind of fall off at the end, maybe a little bit. I think Josh touched on setups, and him and I are teammates, and we run a different kind of setup, and it's more so for feel rather than actual speed, I should say. But yeah, I was able to get out ahead there, and then it started to get to be quite painful at the end of the race as that blue group starts to form in Pro 2s. That's you gotta wheel it pretty good. So no, but managed to stay up front there after getting out of them, and waiting for the comp caution, and just tried to check out again and hold my pace.
You did have a really good restart after the competition yellow came out. You came into this race 6th place in this point standing, so a really good showing for you today. A lot of the competition that you was in front of you in the point standings finished behind you. So how are you looking points wise? You feel like you might be a little bit better going into the next race in 2 weeks?
Absolutely. That was pretty much all the points I probably could have gotten there in terms of the race, because I know if we run a clean race, we get extra points, and I don't think I had any incident points, so extra points there. My last couple of races, I had some pretty tough luck. Like Josh said, I had an incident in the one round, and the round after that, I actually got DQ'd for incident points, so it wasn't working in my favor for the past couple of weeks. But this is just what I needed to get back into the swing of things.
So for someone who hasn't actually seen these types of trucks race on dirt before, explain to just how difficult it is to pass a lot on some of these racetracks.
For my passing, I mean, just driving the truck alone is extremely difficult. When you make a setup and driving style for these trucks, you're not just thinking about the corner. You got to think about how the truck's going to land. It can't land all wonky. It needs to land flat each and every time, or else you're going to be fishtailing all over the place. So if you can do that on your own, then you're going into the next level, so to speak, in trying to race people. Because racing door to door at Wild Horse in a Pro 2, if you can do that without hitting the guy next to you, you're doing pretty damn good. So it's a handful, to say the least, especially when that blue group starts to form.
A lot of the time throughout this race we were watching, it looked like a bunch of Formula Drift races going on in the back of the pack with all the drivers side by side. It was super fun to watch. Congratulations on your victory tonight. Before we let you go, we'd like to give you a chance to do any shout-outs.
Thank you guys for putting this broadcast on. It's always good to watch these races back and have friends and family watch these. So thank you to you guys. The guys on the Jim Beaver Esports team, General Tire, Fistful of Bourbon, Winners Get Whiskey, Polaris Razor, Vision Wheel, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, GSP, XTV Axles, Gibson Performance Exhaust, Cronus, Sant Racing Fabrication, 07 Designs, and Chris Leone's Motorsport Drop.
That is Cameron Penderson, winner of Pro 2 tonight. And once again, congratulations. We look forward to seeing the next one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Michael, we are one race done. We got one race left to go. How you feeling after the first race, our Pro 2 race?
I'm feeling excited. I can't wait to see how these other trucks handle. You say the other trucks are 4-wheel drive, so who knows what we're going to see with those.
Yeah, the Pro 4s are coming up next, but right quick, we're going to take a quick intermission. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Flatout Racing Network will be back with coverage of our Pro 2 race here from Wild Horse Motorsports Park. We'll be right back after this.
It's a road few dare to travel, a journey filled with danger and unpredictability. So why do we traverse this road? Why do we take such a gamble? Because if we don't try, we'll never know what we could have achieved. That's why we strap in, rev up, and fix our focus on the ultimate prize. Because the reward is well worth the risk. The 2021 NNSCRA Daytona 500, Saturday, February 20th, exclusively on Flatout Racing Network.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
It's a road few dare to travel, a journey filled with danger and unpredictability. So why do we traverse this road? Why do we take such a gamble? Because if we don't try, we'll never know what we could have achieved. That's why we strap in, rev up, and fix our focus on the ultimate prize. Because the reward is well worth the risk. The 2021 NNSCRA Daytona 500, Saturday, February 20th, exclusively on Flatout Racing Network.
Welcome back to Wild Horse Motorsports Park. We are getting ready for our Pro 4 trucks as they are right now qualifying for the race. Right now, Drapkin on track, second place so far. Henderson, our winner from earlier, is going to be in the first position. He's trying to go double down tonight as he is right now about a tenth of a second faster than Drapkin. My name is Anthony McCurry once again. Joining me is Michael Norman. Michael, we're back and we're ready for some Pro 4s. Are you excited? Because I definitely am.
Oh, I'm definitely excited as well. You've got 4-wheel drive now in these trucks. Look, oh my goodness. Mason Prater just flipping down the front straightaway here. And, you know, as I was trying to say before, we got more traction. I guess you can say traction, but you got more turn ability in these trucks now with them being 4-wheel here. So it's going to make things a lot more interesting. Well, we're gonna hope that Zachary Drapkin can have a better run this time than in the first one after flipping over in the first couple of laps here.
You can definitely bet that these drivers are going to try and throw their trucks in, and you got that extra torque, that extra power, and you can really swing around these turns now as Penderson still in the lead of the race, but now Luke Knupp is going to be in second place after taking a bit of a turn, but he's going to be in the 77 truck trying to keep that second place position starting. 4 minutes ago in qualifying, we are here today at one of the coolest tracks that I think I've seen in a long time. This is Wild Horse Motorsports Park, a short but fast track, a 1.5 mile track in total, lots of jumps, lots of tabletops, some kinks, some little bits of some ramps right at the ends of straightaways going into turns. So these drivers have to be aware that, you know, what you have happen is going to be just a little bit thrown away. As if you're not careful, you could throw away your entire lap.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be real careful with these trucks. It's, you know, just the slightest bit of mistake. You've heard from the drivers in the previous race say, you know, these trucks have got to land flat Otherwise, you're going to be fishtailing, and that's going to throw off a lot of your speed. As you see the car in front, I think that's the 72, or close to it up there. Sean Stratton, he was fishtailing over there too. You see the 92 car running slow, letting cars go by. Yeah, it's all about concentration here, and you cannot lose focus for even a second, or you're going to find yourself spinning or going in the wrong direction.
That is true, as we are looking now at Henderson again. We're looking to take a look at the point standings coming into this race. It was on the graphic earlier, but we'll tell you what the point standings are. Cameron Henderson comes into the points leader in the Pro 4 division, so trying to extend his points lead, doing pretty well as he's got himself qualified first. He's taking it back behind the garage right now, trying to work on his truck. Josh Edmondson is going to come in second place in the standings. So a lot of the drivers that we saw do kind of middle of the pack, or middle of the top 10 earlier on, is going to be starting up towards the front. Oh my goodness, Connor Berry, we're looking at him right now, just took a really huge spin, flipping end over end. But a lot of these drivers, they're using the Pro 2s as a bit of a practice for this race. The Pro 4s trying to figure out what they can do. Connor Berry, we're going to go to him. He is actually third place in the standings right now. So your top three, Penderson, Edmondson, and Berry, did pretty well the last race. Make the top five, Mason Prater and Luke Knupp. And Luke Knupp right now is qualified second place as he just passes Edmondson.
Yeah, I'm riding on board with Luke Knupp over here, and just watching his hands work that steering wheel and his feet the throttle. You can definitely tell it's real difficult to get around this racetrack.
Trying to arc the truck in to make that turn at the end of the tabletop, trying to get over the ramp, trying to not get in the way of anyone else, but trying to hopefully that no one will be in his way as he's got the 53 in front of him. That's Carpenter trying to get around to get a fast lap in. A little bit of contact between him and Hunter Carpenter. That's going to negate his lap. He was on a pretty fast lap. He's still in second place. You know he wanted to have first place, but still trying to go for it and trying to get into that pole position. Oliver Golding is going to be in the seventh place position. We're looking at him right now. 1 minute to go in qualifying. These drivers still trying to figure out where they will stand for the start of the 15-minute main event. Looks like Penderson still with a lead, going to be first place for now, but Knupp and Edmondson hunting him down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch these trucks, especially with Penderson winning the first one. Now he's on track to be on pole for this one, so he could make it 2 for 2 here tonight, especially in these four-wheel trucks. But just look at the jump these cars are getting on that tabletop going into the first turn.
Knupp is only 4/100ths of a second off of Penderson, so trying to figure out a way to get onto the pole. Edmondson is only 5/100ths off, and Barry's only 8/100ths off. So everyone within 1/100th of, one tenth of a second is everyone. You can put a blanket on them the way they're running right now. But Penderson coming down to the final lap. Yeah, this is his last lap. Zero's on the clock. This is the final bit of time for the qualifying. Can Penderson hold on, or will Knupp try to steal it? Penderson stops. He's done. Will Knupp try to advance? He's already crossed the line. Cannot. Barry has already crossed the line. Cannot advance. So Penderson is going to be our pole sitter for tonight's main event, and he is going to be alongside of Luke Knupp for the start of the race.
Something I'm noticing a lot with these trucks is that they are using that turn one wall off there. I'm not sure if that's helping or hurting these trucks.
It might be. If you can get a bounce off the wall and get a lucky bounce, it might propel you forward. So I've seen a lot of people try to use the wall as an advantage, but so far could not do it tonight. And we got a couple of drivers still trying to make their way around the track. We're going to be going to the race very shortly. As you look at the top of your screen, you'll see our starting lineup for tonight's race. So we're just waiting for the session to go forward, and we're going to get set for our main event race. Michael, you have any predictions for this race? We saw earlier on in the Pro 2 race that it was all about keeping your truck under control, trying to make sure that you were going to be the fastest and try to get around the track without spinning around. These trucks a bit more forgiving as they've got all-wheel drive. Do you think that these drivers are going to be more aggressive tonight? We're 4 races into their season. It's the first race for us on FRN, so everything's new to us.
Yeah, everything's new to us. And if you really want a prediction from me, I think the pole sitter is going to go coast to coast, man. He is real strong in the first one. We still got the halfway break or the halfway caution, so it's going to be interesting to see. But my prediction is that Cameron Pedersen is going to go from coast to coast, from the pole to the win.
We'll have to find out as they're lining up on our front stretch tabletop, getting ready to go down for our one pace lap, and then we'll put them under green for tonight's 15-minute main event. Just like in the Pro 2, it's going to be a 15-minute main event with one competition yellow in between. So we'll have to see if these drivers can get around this track cleanly. We saw a few incidences happen in the Pro 2s, but I don't think it was caused by driver error. Most of them were caused by connection error. So we'll have to see if connection error is a big factor tonight, as already we have someone blinking out behind. I believe that's Ambrosius, who is blinking out right behind Prater. So we'll have to keep an eye on him to see if he can stay solid for these drivers to drive around him. But these drivers are going to be on edge all race long, trying to vie for this win, as it seems like Pedersen's unstoppable.
Yeah, it seems that way. So that's what's going to make this really fun to watch, if anybody can dethrone the points leader from this race today.
16 trucks will take the green flag. We're coming down to the front straight. The safety truck has peeled off. Pedersen will get us underway as we're going around the final turn. 15 minutes of non-stop dirt track action. We're getting ready, coming through the final turn. Green flag is in the air. We're racing here at Wild Horse. It looks like Pedersen has got a huge jump as he kind of gets in the way. 3 wide between Nup, Barry, and Prater behind them. And then move Nup and Ambrosius in the mix, and they're hitting each other down the back straightaway. Flying around 4 wide, 3 wide, 5 wide even. As the 50 goes around, that's Prater spinning around but going back straight again.
Yep, keep trying to go, these drivers. Really trying. Here they come off the corner. Pedersen's got the same lead he had, about picked up where he left off last time around.
Pedersen trying to get away, trying to get any bit of momentum he can to get away from the Hornet's Nest behind him. Nup, Barry, and Prater still battling as we have another person blinking in and out. I believe that's Ambrosius. He's trying to hold on to it. Someone's blinked out completely and hasn't come back, and that is Ambrosius. Prater's also having, I believe that's actually Connor Barry, having some problems as well. Trying to stay connected to the session. Oh my goodness, he's blinking in and out, trying to hold on to it, but we're still 2-3 wide racing. Back here for third place. That's actually making second place as Nup trying to get away from Barry and Prater. In the back behind them, you have Edmondson. Actually, that's Edmondson right in front of him. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong timing screen, but Edmondson trying to hold on against Barry and Drapkin to get away from them.
These trucks are all over the place back here, beating and banging off each other for positions. Looking back here at Mason Prater, Gary Green back here also.
Drapkin trying to stay with these guys in the fourth place position, trying to hold on to what he can, trying to get around them as Drapkin. Now we saw Drapkin earlier in the Pro 2s have a bit of a spin, trying to get around and actually blinked out of the session for a moment and then came back in upside down. This race, he's doing very well, running in the fourth place position, trying to hold on to this top 5 position, trying to get up and past Barry and Edmondson. Back there you see Luke Nup trying to hold up against a Hornet's Nest behind him between Cross, Kieschmeyer, Mason Prater, and Gary Green make that, as these two, Prater and Green, were around each other in the last race.
Beating and banging off each other. That's the way to do it here, but Cameron Pedersen is just pulling away.
And Pedersen is checked out again. He's got about a 1.8 second lead. There's some damage, some heavy damage on the front end of Gary Green's machine. Looks like he's missing the front left end plate on the front end of the car. So trying and not damage that steering too much. These trucks have already got some really hard steering to go. As you see, I believe that was Kieschmeister get a little bit squirrely out of that turn, trying to run down Chase Carr, who was not in the last race. He is in the Pro 4s, trying to have a good showing here as well. But so far, so good, as everyone seems to be finding their slot in. And right now, Penderson has just checked out. A massive lead now, about a 2-second lead. Battle for second between Connor Berry and Josh Edmondson. Edmondson right now. Throw Drapkin in the mix as well as he's blinking in and out, trying to hold connection.
Yeah, and just remember, too, they still got a caution coming around about the halfway mark, so that lead that Cameron's getting, he's just doing it for show right now, because it's going to be after that caution that things are really going to count here.
11 minutes, 25 seconds left to go, and Drapkin is continuing to have connection problems. He's all over the racetrack trying to hold on to it. We've seen him blinking in and out. It was the inside of Barry trying to hold on to it. Looks like he's back and connecting. So hopefully that resolves itself, because that's what took him out of the last race. He does not want to have that happen again. Back here, you've got Luke Knupp, who did qualify really well and now has found himself back in the 6th place position after the skirmish at the beginning. It was basically, if you've seen a Land Rush race, it was almost like one of those starts. It was a rolling start for these drivers, but the Land Rush does happen, and man, you can see a lot of it happen. Oh, there's a truck off to the side. I believe that is Drapkin. No, that's not Drapkin. I'm not sure which one that is, but someone has pulled off the side. I think that's Ambrosius who's pulled off to the side. He's in the pits now.
Yes, he is. That is James Ambrosius.
So Ambrosius in the pits. Henderson continuing to lead. Barry, Edmondson, and Drapkin still in a fight. We're going to go on board with our 3rd place driver. You can see them working around. Look at the hands inside the machine as there's a battle between Edmondson and Barry for the 2nd place position over the tabletop start finish straight. Trying to get anything he can to the inside, but so far nothing that he can get to past the 58 as the 58 gets a better run out of the turn.
Boy, they're really climbing that wall at the end, at the exit of that corner. Look at him. Look at Barry trying to cut the corner right there, but he just doesn't get a good enough speed off of it. See him if he tries to cut low on this corner. He does. Can he get the run off? It's all about grip and where you can go. A little bit of contact made, but man, those small bumps right there before this corner is really what's making it difficult for him and for Connor to pass right there.
He's trying to set
caution is out.
We get in the yellow flag. The competition yellow has come out, so these drivers will slow it down and they will go to pace speed. This is our competition yellow. This happens about halfway through the race. Looking at about 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go in the race, so these drivers still with a long way to go in this one. Your top 5 has pretty much remained the same. It's Cameron Penderson, Josh Edmondson, Connor Berry, Zachary Drapkin, and Oliver Golding going to be our top 5. And man, Michael, we have seen some action. It's been all over the racetrack. There's hardly any time to think.
Absolutely. Hardly no time to think. We got one person coming around to get the lucky dog, maybe 2 people right now. But, you know, it's what can these guys do? What can they do to catch Cameron like this? He is just running away with this.
Cameron Penderson has been able to get away from the battling. I think that's the biggest factor in how he's gotten these big leads, is getting away from everyone battling on the racetrack, making it so you have clean air. You can run wherever you need to make the fast laps happen. And he is still going to have a whale of a lead if he can get a good jump once we go back to green next time by. We're waiting for those drivers that made that pass to come back and get their laps back. Have a total of 13 drivers on the lead lap. A couple drivers that have fallen off the lead lap are Christopher Plumley, Hunter Carpenter, and James Ambrosius, who have had some major problems. Ambrosius has had a lot of issues. I'm not sure why he's had so many issues, but he has fallen like a rock back to the back. We think he's having connection issues as well, as Drapkin's having a lot of connection issues. You see that gap in the trucks back where that blue and black truck is. That's where Drapkin would normally be, and he's had a lot of connection issues, but we're about ready to go back to green.
They're talking to him about it right now. I can hear them over race control here. They're talking to him about trying to keep a steady connection there. We'll see what they decide to do with him if it keeps up like this. But like you said, we're getting ready to come back to the green flag. We are approaching the final turn.
Green flag will come out with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go, maybe more or less, as we're getting ready to put them back under green. So, with that much time left, can Edmondson and Barry run down Penderson? It doesn't look like they can, but we'll have to find out, as Looks like we might be going to green. Yes, back to green flag racing over the tabletop, and Penderson leads them down. We're back to green with 7 minutes to go in the race, and already you can see Penderson, whoa, trying to skirt away. A lot of drivers hitting that wall on the outside that dirt bank. Oh, Penderson's having connection issues now. Here comes Barry up the inside for second.
They're really trying. They're trying to pass one another. Now is the best chance to do it. But all that passing is not going to allow them any easier to get around this leader. Oh, we got to spin.
Barry around, contact between him and the 20, I believe, the 70 of Golding, I believe that was. So Barry's going to drop like a rock back to the 8th place position. Now in a battle with Gary Green trying to get around. They're back to 3rd place to challenge. Now, oh, a truck flipping in front of him. That's Mason Prater in the 50 that's gone over. Now he's gotten back right. Now he's going back in the right direction. But Mason Prater on his roof, now rolling over, back going. Man, he's falling back all the way to 12th. So it's amazing what can happen in the span of a lap. As now you've got a new top 3. Give the 3rd place position to Drabkin now as he tries to run down Edmondson. He's got a fast truck. Can he get around?
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. These trucks being durable. He was flipping end over end, and he's still back on his wheels and kept going. Now he's further back there, but man, he still seems like he could pass some cars. As these cars are getting all types of sideways and on 2 wheels over here.
It's go time for a lot of these drivers. They know that there's not a whole lot of time left in this race, so whatever they got to do, they have to do it now. As they only have 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this race.
Oliver Golding has been disqualified.
Golding might have been DQ'd for that contact that contact earlier with Barry. That might have been the reason why that truck has been DQ'd. Oh, wow, a big bounce for Luke Nutt back there. He took a major shot off the outside dirt bank and almost flipped over, did the 77. Not sure if the reason why the 70 has been DQ'd is because of that contact, but I have a feeling it might be. Speaking of the man who got the receiving end of that contact, Barry is now still battling with Green to the inside of the 920. Around, he's trying. There's a slow truck around the outside. Whoa! A little bit of unshakeness from the 28. Almost flipped over, rocking back and forth, trying to get a run out of the final turn across the tabletop, but not anywhere close to make a move. Over the hump, down into turn 1. Side by side, going down the back straightaway. Does he have the run? No. Green slides in front.
Keep an eye on this battle. Yeah, it's going.
Channel switched. Sound resumed.
All right, Anthony, I think we're back now.
I would like to apologize for what happened. For some reason, we lost all of our audio, but we are back with a secondary mode of talking to you, and we missed. We were watching it, trying to fix it, but we saw a really good run to the end of the race. Cameron Penderson going coast to coast, winning both of our races tonight. So fantastic run for him in the 48 truck tonight. He does get the double down, but man, we had quite possibly some of the best battles on the racetrack for second and third. Zachary Drapkin does get second place in a battle between him and Josh Edmondson. So Drapkin, redemption for earlier on in the race when he had some issues happen, but now he's back and now he's been able to kind of get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. Like I said, I called it him going coast to coast here. You know, if we could pull him in for an interview, I'm pretty sure he'd say, you know, that it was heck of a race out there, and he's happy for his guys. And you know, very well he should be, because that was a heck of a battle that these guys put, and he just pretty much dominated this race.
Yeah, he did. Cameron Penderson did. Zachary Drapkin once again with a star-studded victory, or not victory, but second place here tonight. Again, going basically a polar opposite of where he finished in the Pro 2 race. And Josh Edmondson finishes third place. He finished second place in the Pro 2 race, so Pro 4 still a top 3, but I'm sure he would wanted to hang on to that second place position. I don't really know how much he could have battled with the fact that Zachary was just having a whole lot of connection problems. I don't know if they were able to battle each other as quite as much as they could have if they both had solid connections, but still, nonetheless, good run for both of them. The top 5 makes up of Connor Berry and Gary Green, who found his way up into the top 5 following Connor Berry, who does get back to the 4th place position. He had a fast truck all night long.
Absolutely. It was really fun and really glad. I'm glad to be a part of this with you, Anthony. A rare time that I don't have to, that I could be here. And I'm glad I was, because this was absolutely amazing and fun to watch. I hope everybody else pretty much enjoyed this as well. And, you know, sorry again for technical issues, but, you know, stuff like that tends to happen sometimes.
Yeah, technical issues have caused us to get or not our voice or our way of talking to you kind of decided to dip out on us, but that's all right. We found another way, and it's just just after the race was over, but still a fantastic race. I'll give you a full field rundown of where everyone finished. Cross Kieschmeyer finished in the 6th place position. Nicholas Dochelet finished in the 7th position. Then 8th, 9th, and 10th will be Burke, Knupp, and Carr. Then you have Sean Stratton finishing 11th, Hunter Carpenter, Christopher Plumley, James Ambrosius, who had a horrible night. Not really sure what happened to Ambrosius. He was really good in the Pro 2s, and then for some reason, once we got to Pro 4s, his truck did not want to go the way he wanted to go. So he finds himself in the 14th spot. Mason Prater, also with some bad luck, found his way upside down at one point in this race. He's going to finish in the 15th. And Oliver Golding, who got DQ'd, and we believe it was from that contact between himself and Connor Berry earlier in the race. We didn't get confirmation on that, but that's about the only thing that I can really come to that he could have gotten a penalty for, and that would have been the contact going into what I believe is the penultimate turn. So, you know, a lot of things happened throughout that race, and I think we've actually got one of our drivers here to do an interview. I believe that's Zach Drapkin. Zach, how you doing? Welcome to the FRN commentators booth. Zach, it's Anthony in the FRN booth. You got us? Looks like we're waiting for Zach to get his microphone sorted. I think that's him. Hold on.
Hello.
There he is.
We got you now.
Zach, it was an interesting race for you. We saw you having some connection issues, but you did manage to get the second place position, a polar opposite of what you had in the Pro 2 race. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, that Pro 2 race was definitely it was a knocker. I'm just glad to come back in the Pro 4 and be able to take home second. The connection, I had schoolwork going in the background, so that was my problem.
The education strikes yet again.
Man, you know they say schoolwork and racing never seem to go together.
But
Exactly.
but a fantastic bounce back, finishing second place. That battle between you and Drapkin and Edmondson, that was a pretty good battle going on between you and Edmondson, and I was impressed by how well you guys were able to keep it clean despite the connection issues on your end. But I gotta say, that was a good piece of driving and a great battle to watch.
Yeah, me and Josh drive together a lot. Well, I like to drive with him a lot, but I feel he has respect for me and I have respect for him. So really, just the respect between the drivers makes clean battles. So I think he didn't hit me once, I didn't hit him once, and it was just clean battles. It was a lot of fun with racing with him.
Yeah, and we didn't get a chance to ask you this from the previous race, but you had your concentration out there pretty good, and just how difficult is it in these trucks to pass, especially at a very tight corner track like this one?
This track really does take the best drivers and throw them all in a loop. Overall, just going into every corner as a 180. In the Pro 2s, it's nearly impossible in that middle section just to get through it. And in the Pro 4, it's a little easier. But overall, this is probably the hardest track, I got to say, to drive, in my opinion.
Well, you certainly drove it well, getting a second place finish tonight. We want to congratulate you on that. And before we let you go, we're going to give you a chance to do any shout outs.
Yeah, I definitely just thank all my sponsors that always back me in the iRacing and in real life. Signature Impellers, Hill Marine, Redline Oil, Faptech, Ambush Esports, my buddy Braden for building my tune, 92 Designs, and Sparko, Rigid, AIM, and Braden and David, my teammates. Thank you.
That is Zachary Drapkin finishing second tonight in Pro 4. We look forward to seeing you next time out, and I believe that will be 2 weeks' time, and we look forward to seeing you.
Definitely. Can't wait to see you guys.
I believe we've got Joshua Edmondson. We can bring him in if we can get him in.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Josh, it's Anthony and Michael in the Flatout Racing Network booth that got us.
Yeah, I do.
Well, that was a bit of a crazy way to get you in here, but we're glad we got you in. And a crazy battle between you and Drapkin. Tell us from your point of view, how is that battle going around the track pretty much lap after lap, that last stint after the competition yellow, even though that there was some connection issues on Drapkin's side?
Yeah, it was a little difficult. His truck was kind of glitching out into mine and stuff there for a second, but it was solid at other times. So it's a little hard to drive around, but all in all, it was good. I hit that K rail again, same one I did again in the Pro 2, and lost second place. So that was kind of a bummer. I feel I should have at least been second there, but didn't really have that pace to keep up with Cam again. He's really strong at this track. So got some work to do.
You did have a fast truck all night long, and to tell us, how do you go about this track? It's a very tight track. These trucks have a lot of power, especially the Pro 4s with the all-wheel drive. It can't be easy trying to defend somebody who's got a run on you coming in, trying to dive bomb it in, and certainly getting the power out, trying to stay in front of someone can't be that easy either.
No, exactly. It's tough. You kind of have to protect the inside. It's mostly left-hand corner, so you can give up the inside coming out of turn 2 there, like I was doing to Connor every once in a while when he'd get a run there, just because I knew I had the inside again in turn 3. That's you can kind of protect there, but he had a run on me coming out of 4 a couple times, and it was good, clean racing. It was a lot of fun with those guys. It's a bummer that Connor got caught up in something there, and then and obviously hitting that K rail hurt my race a little bit, but at least I was able to stay on the podium and get good points. So that's what matters.
Yeah, it was a fun race out there. Same track. Were you a little bit more warmed up going into this one because you ran the Pro 2, or because it's a 4-wheel drive, does it just drive completely different?
Oh, it's a lot different, actually. And out of all the truck and track combinations, I usually do better in the Pro 2, but I struggle the most here in the Pro 4 at Wild Horse out of all of them. So I'm actually even happier that I finished on the podium because of that. In qualifying, I put down one of my best laps ever here, so that was good. Let me start up front. So it's a tough track for me in the Pro 4 to stay consistent in. So I'm really happy actually with how it turned out.
Well, congratulations on your top 3 tonight. You did well in both the Pro 2 and the Pro 4 races. Before we let you go, we're going to give you a chance to do some shout outs.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Drew for putting on the league and you guys for broadcasting it. Stoked to go back and watch all this now. And then, of course, shout out to my team, Jim Beaver Esports, Fistful of Bourbon, Dirtfish, General Tire, 07 Designs, Acronis, GSP XTV Axles, Rigid, Gibson Performance, Polaris Razor, and Chris Leon's Motorsport Drop.
Once again, that is Josh Edmondson driving the 58 truck, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time when we go back to racing.
Awesome. Thanks.
User was
Well,
moved out of
Michael,
your
it's been
channel.
a pretty fantastic night of racing here on Flatout Racing Network. We have the both Pro 2s and
User
Pro 4
joined your
races that
channel.
we watched, and I gotta say, it was pretty fun to see these trucks go around, and I can't wait to do more of these races.
Absolutely. If I ever get another Thursday off, I'd love to join you up here. This is some fun action. And honestly, with this being my first time seeing these dirt trucks like this, I want to see more.
So we're gonna get our winner in, but it looks like that he is not
yeah.
gonna be here. So unfortunately, we will be wrapping up tonight. But stay tuned for more racing on the FRN network. If you like the Pro Trucks, we won't be back until the not this week, but the next week. So we'll be taking a week off and then coming back with the Pro Trucks. But tons of other things to do on the Flat Out Racing Network. And Michael, I absolutely love FRN and all the content we've got going on right now. There's a whole lot of racing. If you need that racing bug itched.
Yeah, absolutely. Go back and watch our previous videos, our previous broadcasts that are up here. Some great racing, some great people, great leagues out there that we're running, that we have done, that we haven't done, or that we haven't done in a while. But yeah, if you got that racing bug or want to see some more of our broadcasts, just head on over to our YouTube page, Flat Out Racing Network, and just go on through our recent videos and take a look at some of the old races we've done.
Indeed. So it has been, well, we are getting something here. Hold on. Told not to quite end the broadcast yet, so we're going to hold on really quick. Speaking of some of the stuff that's coming up on the Flat Out Racing Network, as I'm gonna quickly take a look at the schedule coming up. We have an RTG Dirt Series race coming up tomorrow night, Friday night at 8. It looks like 8:10 p.m. is going to be the iRacing Dirt Series for the RTG League. They will be tomorrow night, and then Saturday night it's going to be the NSRA Daytona 500 on the FRN network. So a lot of racing this week, and the next week we get started back with all of our regular racing. Thursday night you have the G-Force Vintage Clothing Series, the Vintage 87 Series that is going to be running. Wednesday night, Dark Horse IndyCar Series and the Sarg Super Speedway Series, and then the RTG Talladega Challenge will be to next week. So again, lots of racing happening.
We've got our race winner here.
Oh, we do have our race winner. That's what we were waiting for. We got him in. Cam, it's Anthony and Michael in the booth. You got us.
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Well, welcome back to the FRM booth. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Coast to coast, just as we did our predictions early on. Anthony asked me for what I thought in my prediction, and I said that our pole sitter was going to go coast to coast. So you didn't prove me wrong, man. That was a fantastic run again, just dominating the race tonight.
Yeah, that's not always what happens, especially at Wild Horse. You can always get knocked out of the way or get caught up in trouble. So yeah, pretty lucky there at the start and able to kind of not walk away, but kind of slowly walk away. I don't know how to explain that, but these lap times are so close, like you saw in qualifying. They were so close between all the competitors here, and I didn't really have much faith in my setup after the comp caution, because I haven't even tested it after I've even seen Blue Groove. So I was a little hesitant with the setup, but I was still able to pull away, and after the Blue Groove started to form, which is new for me, at least in the Pro 4s at this track. So happy, very, very happy to see that. And yeah, looking forward to the next one.
You had a very strong truck tonight. You mentioned how close the lap times were in qualifying. I believe it was the top 4 that was separated by less than a tenth of a second. So a whole lot of close action tonight and a lot of battles behind you. But again, you did seem to be comfortable being out front. I know your setup might not have been the way you liked it, but it came in. But overall, how did the truck feel tonight? It seemed like from your Pro 2 race into your Pro 4 race, it looked pretty similar the way they handle it. I know these trucks are completely different in the sense that one's rear wheel and one's all wheel. So how was your truck feeling all night?
It actually felt phenomenal. This is kind of a brand new setup for me, and Josh as well. So there's kind of some tweaks that needed to be made and some adjustments in terms of not just in the setup, but our driving style, and just getting it set up properly going into the corner after it lands is be pretty tricky sometimes, and it needs to be just right to be able to get those you know, 100ths of a second, thousandths of a second knocked off the lap time each and every corner. So yeah, you just really need to, you don't really want to slide too much in these trucks. You kind of there's really only forward bite, there's not much side bite. So yeah, just kind of coax around the corner, keep it straight, be smooth, and just keep up the momentum, and try to stay off the blue groove if I can. And yeah, just keep hitting my marks and get the timing right, and hopefully it all comes together. And tonight it did.
You did fantastic, and the point standings are in your favor. You are to extend your points lead over Edmondson, even more so because he finished third place in this race, and Connor Berry, who was third place in the standings, finishes fourth. So you've got a pretty good points pad going into 2 weeks, the next race in 2 weeks' time. So how are you feeling points wise? And you think that maybe you can take away this championship?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I'm pretty comfortable here, going into two tracks that are probably my favorite on iRacing. So I'm pretty comfortable. And like I said, with these new setups that we're working with, I'm just looking forward to seeing if I can knock off some more time. And so I'll get about that qualifying lap, get out ahead, and you might be able to, if someone can stay on my bumper, that's fine. But getting around me, that's a whole other story. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hoping to see Josh up there with me. He always does good, especially in the Pro 2s. He's stellar in the Pro 2s. And yeah, hopefully to take home for Jim Beaver Esports.
That is Cameron Penderson, our winner in both of our races tonight, Pro 2 and Pro 4. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel.
That is going to be a wrap for us tonight, Michael. Any final thoughts from you as we're about ready to wrap this race up and head for some more racing?
Oh, it's going to be fun. I can't wait for the next time. It was fun tonight, and I'm really looking forward to next time. Hopefully I can be here for it.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast. If you want more racing, like I said, go to the website, see what we got coming up. You can also join our Facebook. I believe we have a Facebook group, and we have our Instagram, so you can go and find us on Flatout Racing Network and all of our social medias. The website will see a comprehensive scheduling of when our races are happening, and we look forward to seeing you then as well. For Michael Norman, my name is Anthony McCurry. We'll see you next time on the Flatout Racing Network. Thank you all for watching.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.